Welcome to our model apartment in independent living at Fairhaven. I'm Ardell Fleeson, lifestyle specialist for independent and assisted living. It's lovely to be here together. Please introduce yourselves and tell us what you do.
Well, I'm Tara Holman.
And I'm Brian Carlson.
And we are co-owners of Trading Places, a senior mood management company.
Well, simply put, we help people move into senior communities, assisted living, independent living, and memory care. And we do that by helping them, we do that by providing really almost every imaginable service.
We start actually with an in-home consultation. It's free, and we come in and talk to the individuals and find out, where they are in the process as far as, are they just beginning to look around? Are they really serious and wanting to do something? And we help them with the sorting and go through everything and try to help them decide what they want to keep and what they want to take and what they want to donate or discard. But we also do individualized floor plans for people who want to just take too much, and that helps. So they're, when they get here, we'll measure the furniture and we'll measure the apartment, because everybody always wants to bring too much stuff.
Yes.
And one of the other things that we can do is recommend a mover, a reliable mover, because you've got to have one of those. And we'll come in, pack everything up the week of the move, and then after that happens, we on the move day, we'll come in and make sure that everything happens according to plan. The movers show up, that everything's going well, and then we unpack on the other end, and we help do a setup. And that's really actually my favorite part of what we do, because then we have a big reveal. When people come in, everything's done. Their paintings are hung, the bed's made, kitchen's stocked, bathroom set up. I mean, everything we do it. So
Nice.
It's really nice. So when they come in, it's just like HGTV moment without the camera. But we have a really good time, and we always have a little prize for them, when they come in, to make it a little more homey. And then, of course, if they need an estate sale person, we can recommend them.
Yeah.
That's pretty much our A to B service.
So I'm challenged daily to help people get over that hump, to make that first step. So Brian, what do you think is the best thing for somebody to just get started with?
The first thing to do is to make a plan, and the simplest tool for making a plan really is just a good old-fashioned list, and in particular an ordered list. So I would recommend everyone start by listing out all the things that come to their mind that they can think of, and when they look it over, naturally some things will need to happen before others. Then they start to put it into a basic order, and it really doesn't get any more sophisticated than that.
If you're dealing with somebody in the interview, the first phase that you talked about, where they're deciding what to take and what not to take, do you have a secret question or words that you love to use if somebody just cannot decide?
Well, actually, and that's interesting, because that will segue right into what I was going to say next. Really, just take what you love. I mean, a lot of people carry things with them throughout their lives that they're, it's a family piece. They're not just crazed about it, but they want to make sure they honor that. And so I think it's a very kind of a fine line between telling suggesting things, and also I always suggest for people to take what they use, because you've got rooms in your house that you probably don't go in very often, and maybe you've got a really comfy couch in your den that you love, and then you've got this really prickly, awful couch in the dining room, in the living room that you don't use very often, but you think it looks better, but it's not. So I'm always comfort first. So I think it really, when people start really thinking about, what do you really love? I think people start, saying, well, maybe I don't need that ottoman, or maybe maybe this from Aunt Pearl is not my taste, things like that. So I think it gets easier, and once they get into the process, it's a whole lot easier.
Yes.
Because once you start on something and then you're excited about the results, then
Yeah.
you got something there.
So what you love and what you use.
What you love and what you use, and also think about what you want.
Uh-huh.
You know, if you are, maybe you're tired of cooking, you know, maybe you want to go to a place where they have lots of activities and fun things to do. You know, maybe location, you may want to be closer to your children or your family, but find out, really what you want when you're thinking about making
That's great.
a move.
So take me back to a little more granularity of the very beginning, the most nascent phase of the process, when the first light bulb comes on. When you're talking to somebody who's overwhelmed, I'm not sure you can help me, this is such a bummer, I'm just stuck. How do you take them from there to, oh, that might work. Oh.
Yes. Well, as Brian had said it, it's pretty much a step-by-step process. So there are things that need to happen that will improve your quality of life. And the focus really needs to be on you and not focusing on all your furniture, all the things you've accumulated over the years. It's just, you've got to figure out what makes them happy, what makes them tick, what makes it, that will get them into the next level as far as making decisions. And once it's like this switch. So once it happens, then they're all on board and everybody, it's a good feeling and a good way to help people kind of embrace a different lifestyle and a different.
Well, yeah, and we have kind of different approaches. She has a more emotional approach, and I have a more, I guess, kind of left-brained approach. But the two just very practical things to help people realize that it isn't insurmountable, that it is possible, is to just start to show them the steps. Say, we've done this many, many times with other people, and this is how we did it. We start here, and then this is the next step, and this is the next step. And when people see, it really is just a process that can be broken down into smaller chunks, and those pieces are doable, it makes them, that helps. Definitely, there can be an emotional appeal too to kind of get someone started, but in a little bit more a dry way. It's you just show them that it's just a series of steps, and we just check them off one at a time. Okay, and then another thing that we'll do sometimes is just help get the person started, right? It's just that first step. So we might walk into the kitchen and say, well, let's just sort one kitchen drawer. And as they go through that process and see, well, I don't really need this. I think my daughter would like that. It can actually be fun, to do, as crazy as that may sound. So getting them started is also a big help.
Right now, I have a family who are all out of town, but the mom who would be coming to Fairhaven, wants to stay in Birmingham and doesn't want to move to where her kids are. And the whole family considers Birmingham to be home, so they do want their mom to be here. But how do you deal with a completely long-distance family except for the individual you're moving?
Well, that actually works. We're a member of NASM, which is the National Association of Senior Move Managers, and they had a recent name change. But what we can do is contact someone on their end, help them with the process as far as talking about what's going to happen, how does this work. It's kind of like a mini me over there, and then they will set everything up, let us know what's coming, and then we can set it up, everything on this end. So it's a great
It's a great network.
It is a great network.
It allows any senior move manager to help people all across the country, because obviously these are small little family businesses. We're a brother and sister team, and many of the businesses like this are small ones. So to your point, how do you help someone coming even from Atlanta, to say Fairhaven? We would interact with a senior move manager in Atlanta. They would do their part on their end. We do our part here, including Tara's favorite part, which is the full setup, and completely take care of that client. And we would know that the other senior move manager was, completely professional and vetted.
That's great.
Absolutely. And you also, with NASM, you have classes and insured, licensed, bonded, all of that fun stuff. So you're working with people
Yes.
who are at a higher caliber level.
Yeah,
and
they're vetted. They're trusted partners. Trusted partners.
And we're one of the few that are members of NASM who do actually do senior living
Yeah,
fellowship.
great.
So it's a great asset.
Sounds like a wonderful attribute. I have a family who only the mom is here, and she's living elsewhere. She's living in Birmingham. She wants to move to Fairhaven in Birmingham, but the kids are all gone. So when the kids aren't moving here, except several decades from now, but how do you deal with when you just got the senior and the rest of the family's elsewhere?
Well, we'll go in and do the same thing like we do with everyone else.
I would say that's really where we're the most helpful, is because that person really does need some help. In this example, their family is not in town. In other examples, you might have a child in town, an adult child, as we say, in town, but he or she is just completely busy with their own lives, right? Extracurricular activities for their own children and busy jobs. And so whether it's that you have in-town family that is just too busy really to take on, this work, or they're out of town, that's what, someone like us can come in and help with.
And I will say with the type of move where it's just the person, the senior that we're working with, we'll set up, we'll make it a longer move. If the sorting process, we'll go in and work 2 days a week, maybe 2 hours each time, so she doesn't get, too tired, or he doesn't get too tired, and we just really try to
tailor it
to each individual client that we work with.
Yeah. Great. Give us one or two of your favorite success stories.
Oh, wow. I have a lady, we moved her a couple of years ago, and she was a hoot, but I came in and she said, I said, now, what would you like to take with you? And she said, well, everything. And I said, well, that's fine, but you're moving out of a 3,000 square foot house into a 600 square foot apartment, so we're going to have to look at some things. And she was absolutely adamant. And so I told her, we had a lot of negotiations, and this will work, this won't work. And anyway, at the end of the day, she was, we got her moved in, got everything set up, and she really had everything she really loved. So she was very, very happy, and she was happy with the environment because she had gotten so isolated that she was not even going out to the mailbox. And then in her new community, she started doing all the activities. She, would go down to dinner and get dressed up, and she just really, it was like a whole new life for her. And we
That's
had,
great.
it was,
That's
great.
great.
I know, it
That's
was
great.
such. And I went to see her a couple of weeks after we had moved, and she had moved nothing in the apartment. She wouldn't let anybody come in and move anything. She just loved it.
Oh, that's great.
So that was
That's
great. And we moved a man a couple of weeks ago, and he just said, without your help, I would still be in the place I was before.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the difference between the woman and then the man.
The briefer accolade, one writes a note, thank you, this long one is like, thanks, without you, I would still be in the same place. But that's really what it's all about, right? It's helping people make the move that they really need to, and are putting off for reasons, to your point, that because they feel like it's overwhelming, but it's really not. And one of the things we definitely notice is, and I think one of the most satisfying parts of the job is seeing them flourish in the community.
Oh, yeah.
I resonate to that joy that Brian and Tara are expressing, because I get to see people who I just very first meet who are quite skeptical about independent living, and they get to see the smiling faces of the people in the independent living garden, and they begin to feel the sense of community when they haven't really seen many people in a long time, because they're the oldest person on their street. Having lived in their house for 40 years, the whole neighborhood's changed, and it's time to be around other people. And people make such a difference, and it's infectious. It's lovely to see the joy that comes from that, from eating good food together with hilariously funny other people who are a lot like you. So I share the joy of seeing the process occur in our dear seniors. Do you have advice for how to deal with their kids? Like if they want to divide things among their children, is there like a magic way to do that?
Well, you hear all kinds of things. My husband, there are 5 kids, so they drew cards. So, a high card went first, second, third, fourth.
That's great.
And they just kind of
round
went,
robin.
and then they reversed it on the other end. So,
Okay.
but I think
So
if
you're
you-
number 1 and then you're also number 6.
Right,
Okay.
right. And then
Okay.
also, but the thing is, a lot of kids really, they have their own things, and so there's a lot of furnishings that maybe the kids may not want, So that's
It's not always the food fight that you think it's going to be many of the times.
That's good.
Plus, it's a great way because we come in and we're professionals, so you don't have any of those family dynamics.
Yes,
I don't
yes.
care about this lamp, but I can say, well, so and so got this, and then someone else should get that.
Thank you so much for our time this afternoon. It's been wonderful. In a couple of sentences, what is the one idea that each of you would leave with our dear audience?
I'll let you start.
Well, we'll start with starting. I would say start early so that you are in control of the process and you can make it a happy one, because it should be a happy one.
Absolutely. And also, I kind of think of these senior moves as kind of like going when you're a senior in high school getting ready to go to college. It's very exciting. It's also a little, a little unnerving. But I mean, the end result is you're starting a whole new chapter in your life. So you are going to learn new things and experience new things, and really once you
It's an
get to
adventure,
college,
right?
it's an adventure. It's fun, and so we are all about getting you to the fun part. So that's pretty
great.
much.
Getting you to the fun part.
Getting
That's
you
right.
to
It's
the
true.
fun
It's true.
part.
It's fun
Yes.
in Fairhaven. It's
It
true.
is
It's
fun
true.
in Fairhaven.
Thank you so much. This was great.